Welcome back to the Twilight Zone. I want to talk about one of my favorite topics today, which is prayer. How do I connect to God? How do I talk to my higher power? And it's one of the questions that was brought up the most in my career in care counseling. It's like, how do you pray? And I just want you to know that there is no perfect format, but there is a format that was given to us by somebody who prayed all the time, which is the Jesus of the Bible. And the way he formed it was like, first you acknowledge that you have a Father in heaven, right? And then you admit that his way is the best way, and then you make your petitions and you pray for others, which is a great motto. I made a video about that motto prayer, but I want to talk more about what it feels like to really connect to God. So there was a time in my life when I, like maybe many others, thought that God was this being that was sitting on the throne with his nose turned up, disgusted with everything that I did, pointing his finger, waiting for me to make my next mistake, waiting to punish me, And for me, I'm one of those people that karma came around like a fast whip. Anything that I did wrong was immediately brought back on me. I don't know if any of you can relate. Leave me a comment if you can relate to that. But as I started to go deeper in my faith, I started to understand that what God really is we are made in his image. So if we are a person with arms and legs and fingers and face, then God also is a personage. You can see him as a person of light. I don't get into features and colors and hair and things like that. I just see light, like this prism of beautiful light. But the most important part of this is that there is a person there. So when you sit down to pray, if it feels like you're talking to another person, then you have a better chance of communicating in a way that is more of a conversation than it is just rushing in and spilling out everything that you want and then taking off again. When I hear people say, oh, I haven't prayed for a month or I haven't prayed for a year, I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, there were times when I was like that too. But now it's like, if I don't talk to God every day, it's like not talking to my best friend every day. Like I literally miss being in his presence, miss getting information from him, miss having a conversation with him. If I didn't pray that day, it's like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to pray tomorrow. And this is a relationship. This is the type of relationship that I want you to have with God, because he really is waiting to hear from you. That's the story of the prodigal son. Like your father is standing in the road waiting for you to come and talk to him and connect with him. And so I talk to God like I would talk to anybody else. I mean, of course, with respect and reverence, like I would talk to a father. I wouldn't go into my dad and be like, you know what? I need you to save my life. I need you to save my friends. I need some money. I need a car, and I need you to do it now because I've messed things up. No. Like, who goes to their parents in that way? I want to talk to God like, hey, how are you? I know you're well. It's so good to hear from you. It's so good to talk to you. I thank you for everything that you've done for me. Like if I start out in gratitude, thanking God for like all the things that he's done for me, all the ways that he showed up when I needed him, all of the things that he has taught me over my life, even when I was quote unquote unsaved, which I don't believe in at all. And we can talk more about that. I know for a fact that there were times in my life when I was doing the absolute opposite of everything that Christianity says that you should do. I mean, the absolute opposite. And I can remember to this day the moments and the times and the places where God showed up for me. And if he did it for me, that means he'll do it for you and anybody else who asks. God is always looking out for us. It's not about being saved, but that's a deeper conversation for another time. What I'm talking about now is just thanking God for all the things that he's done. And then I start to ask for things for other people, in particular the world, for all of the children who are out there hungry and hurting, anybody that I know is sick, unwell. I've stopped asking for God to heal, and I've started asking for me to have the power to heal them myself. I mean, through me, for his work to be done through me, because if you think about it, when Jesus was healing people, he wasn't asking God to help him heal the people. He was just pronouncing that healing had taken place, that you are healed. Go, pick up your mat, walk, get up from your bed, come out of the grave. There was no big prayer that was happening before that. It was within his own power to heal. And I believe that we all have the same power if we know how to access and tap into it. We can get into that later as well. What I'm saying is I start out with asking for others, and then I bring my petitions to God, anything that's going on in my life, anything that, personally. And I wrap the whole thing up with just, again, the appreciation, thanking him in advance, because God answers every prayer. Every prayer is answered. It may take some time. The answer might be in due time. It's either yes, no, or wait. But he is answering every prayer. And when you know that, when you have that kind of faith, then you just know if you didn't get it right away, then you wait for it. And if you don't get it, then it wasn't in your best interest. And just because you think it is right doesn't mean that it is right. I mean, that is the point of having someone who's sovereign with wisdom over your life. Okay, well, there's something that I don't know that you do know, and I trust that. So I'm asking you, get in a quiet place. Whether it's in your head or whether you speak it out loud, take some deep breaths. I like to do 5 in, hold for 5, exhale for 5, hold for 5, and repeat. That just slows me down, gets me in my present moment, gets me in my body. Okay, and then I envision myself climbing the stairs, 10 stairs up to God, and I count 3 times on each step, just to slowly make my intentions known that I'm going to talk to God. This is my own visualization process, and you can have your own. And then I get there and I imagine this throne with this light being sitting there waiting, happy to see me, happy to be speaking to me, ushering me into his presence. And then I start the pattern that we talked about. So if you want to connect with God, and don't think he doesn't want to talk to you, no matter what you've done, he does. He can't wait to talk to you, actually. He is looking for you down the road like the prodigal son. So please take a moment to connect, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what you've done in your life. Connect with God. It's a really important time, guys. It's a critical time in humanity, in society. And those of us who know what's happening and what's coming, and this is the time to connect. It's now, or it might be never. And I don't like to be ominous about things, but I'm saying I've got getting a lot of messages and a lot of uploads, and I'm telling you this is a critical time. So please practice your prayer. If you need any help with this, come over and see me, talk to me. Check me out at Love Varies. The link is down here in this video, and I will help you get in the habit of prayer and get in the habit of connecting and answer your questions about whether or not God is real or anything that you might want to know. I'm here for you. Reach out and get connected and find God and find the joy and love and peace that was intended for you from the foundations.